In February of 1998, 20-year-old college freshman Kevin is your typical college student. He enjoys hanging out with his friends and likes to play basketball on his spare time. Kevin has never been known to have a girlfriend whatsoever. He's more on the shy, quiet type. His friends always, invite him to house parties and college parties and whatnot. Even though Kevin, he's not really a party pooper, he still goes with his friends. He accepts all the time. He loves to have a great time, but he just very socially awkward when it comes to women, and he tends to shy away. He doesn't really like talking to women, even though he loves women, he likes women. He just doesn't like talking to women. And one day, Kevin, after school, he's talking to his friends. He finishes up his schoolwork on time, super early. Kevin's in a tutoring class uh, for math and English, and so being his two major subjects, math and English, he always tries to finish his math and English homework and assignment as soon as he can, because he knows that once he finishes these assignments, the rest of his other classes aren't that really as important as these two. He has his regular PE class, his art class, but he feels like these two classes are his classes to give him time to have freedom after school and leave early. So one day, Kevin leaves early and he's driving home, and he usually takes the shortcut home. But on this day, he decides to take a longer route, and this longer route goes around basically the whole city where he lives in, and and this is in Chicago. So he goes all around the avenues, and he passes this stop sign, this red light. He makes a red light stop, and at the side of this red light stop, he sees he sees a girl sitting down on the bench, waiting for the bus stop, and Kevin is just looking at her. He can't stop looking at this girl. He just feels like it's the most beautiful girl he's ever seen, ever, and you got to remember, Kevin is really shy. He's really shy with women and awkward, but he just can't stop looking, staring at this girl's eyes, and his he's almost like out of air, and he's just completely mesmerized and profound by this girl's beauty, and he rolls down his window and he asks her, do you need a ride anywhere quick? I'm just going home. I don't live far from here, about 3 blocks away. I could drop you off if you'd like. Offers up, if you need a ride, I'll give you a ride. The young girl, maybe being between the years of 19 years of age through maybe 21, no older than 21 for sure. She says very politely and respectful, "No, it's fine. It's okay. Um, I'm just waiting here for the bus, and it's okay. Thank you." And so Kevin, being the very socially awkward gentleman that he is, he just tells this young girl, "Oh, okay then. I guess I'll be taking off now. It's no worries. Uh, but you have a good rest of your night. Bye." So he leaves. He proceeds. He passes the red light, and he eventually gets to his house. And Kevin is tired. He's a little let down that he really wanted to give this girl a ride, but she kind of just said no, it's fine. And it's late too. It's getting late, and so Kevin decides to go to the kitchen, pull out some Pop Tarts, some Hot Pockets out of the fridge, and he prepares himself a nice little lunch, a nice little meal. He lays on the couch and throws on some Cartoon Network for the day. And plus he's already done all his schoolwork, so right now he just wants to relax and eat his hot pockets, watch some Cartoon Network. And so right after this, Kevin decides to roll a blunt of cannabis, and then he um, smokes a couple puffs, and then relaxes on his bed and takes a nap. By the time he wakes up, it's already the next day to go to school. So he gets showered, he gets ready, he gets a few workouts in, some push-ups, and Kevin is now ready to go to school. He makes his breakfast, eggs and French toast, and some coffee and some orange juice, and then he goes off. He goes in his car, and he goes to his college. Later that day, Kevin is out, not as early as the day prior, but he gets out at a very good time. It's not too dark yet, but the sun is starting already to go in. So Kevin leaves school, and again he decides to take this long route home. So he goes again, and in back of his mind, he's thinking, maybe I can see that girl again. Maybe she's there again for some weird, odd coincidence or irony. Maybe she's there. So he drives towards this longer route, and sure enough, um, he notices this girl again sitting at the bus stop, and she's just sitting there. It looks like she's either waiting for someone or the bus, or so Kevin finds it kind of odd. She's wearing the same clothes, but she looks very clean, and she just looked like a very nice person, very innocent girl, just sitting there. Evan is just mesmerized again, and he's thinking, well, maybe her boyfriend's gonna pick her up. She's very nicely put together. She's wearing a nice dress. She has her makeup on very nicely. Her hair is done very nicely. She just looks very beautiful and very clean. And you know what? I'm gonna try and ask her again if she would like a ride, or if I can maybe become a friend, or something. So Kevin figures, I'm very awkward. I might as well, got nothing to lose. I'm gonna give it a try and try to ask this girl, for something. And at least I got nothing to lose. I don't have a relationship, a girlfriend, and quite frankly, I have nothing to lose. So I'm gonna see if I can see what's going on here. So he proceeds. He pulls over right next to the bus stop, and he asked this girl, "Oh yeah, I asked you if you wanted to ride yesterday. You met me. My name is Kevin, but I'm sorry I never asked you for your name. What is your name?" And she very politely tells Kevin that her name is Nancy, and that she lives not far from there. And Kevin tells her, that ride is still up. You know, it'll be my pleasure for me to give you a ride home or wherever you need to get to, because pretty girl like you can't be waiting outside like this by herself. So I'll give you a ride, Nancy. And Nancy says, "Okay, well, I'll accept. Thank you, Kevin." And so Nancy hops in the car, and Kevin is just mesmerized by her perfume and her beauty, and how beautiful and well put together this young lady is. And Kevin, in his Mustang, he revs the engine, trying to show off a little bit to, Nancy, and Nancy just smiles and tells him, you're a very kind person. Thank you. I really appreciate you, offering me a ride." And so Kevin is all smiles and giggles, and he's just incredibly happy about giving this girl a ride, and he's just mesmerized. And asks her, he asked Nancy, "Where do you live? Just tell me where I need to take you. Just give me some directions on how to get there, and I'll take you." So Nancy tells him, "Okay, yeah, you can just drop me off. Uh, there's a cemetery right here. It's right before my house. You can drop me off there, and I could just walk the rest. It's not that far. I really don't want to, cause you any hassles or any troubles." And Kevin says, "No, no, no. It's fine. It's okay. I'll give you a ride. I don't mind dropping you off at your home. I'd rather not have you walk by yourself. It's getting late now, and I'd rather, you go home nice and safe. At least for my sake, I feel more comfortable if I would drop you home. Nancy says, very kind, very politely, very nicely, just tells Kevin, no, it's really fine. It's really okay. Just drop me off right there at the cemetery. I actually don't mind the workout. I get my little walk in and I'll get some fresh air. I've had a long day as well. And yeah, I really appreciate you, Kevin. So Kevin says, okay. Kevin proceeds down the street and drops Nancy off on the middle of the road next to the cemetery. And he just sees Nancy walk off in the dark. Kevin goes home, prepares his hot pockets for dinner. Uh, there's not much laying around the house for him to eat, so he's just gonna eat whatever's in the fridge. So he pops in his hot pockets in the microwave and puts on his favorite show, Cartoon Network. He lounges for a bit, rolls a blunt, smokes a little bit of cannabis, takes a shot of tequila, and he crashes out and goes to bed. The next day he wakes up, goes to school. After school, he decides again to take this route towards the bus stop in hopes of seeing Nancy again. He's feels like it has been love at first sight. He doesn't know what to think of it, and he just says, "Well, I got nothing to lose." Again, I'm a very socially awkward individual. Just I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna go and see what's up. So Kevin goes and he proceeds down the street, and again he sees this girl Nancy sitting there, and again she looks very beautiful, but she's wearing the same clothes, and Kevin is just kind of confused, profoundly mesmerized by Nancy's beautiful looks and her charm. She's a very charming girl, polite and kind and respectful, and Kevin is just in disbelief that he feels lucky of seeing Nancy again waiting at this bus stop, which is again random, but he's just gonna talk to her again and can maybe convince her to go out on a date or something or be best friends, really good friends. And so Kevin proceeds. He pulls over next to the bus stop, the bus station, and he gets out of his car and he, tells Nancy, "Oh, hi, Nancy. I'm so happy to see you. I'm just going home. I just got off of my school." And Nancy's very polite, smiles, and Kevin, tells her, "Oh, I'm just wondering if you want to ride or if you want to go on a date one of these days. Can I get your number or something? How can I get in touch with you? Would really like to get to know you, and I don't know. What do you say?" And she says, "Okay, sure, I'll take the ride." So, Kevin is excited and happy, and he doesn't know what to think. He's just a lot of emotions are running through his mind, and he feels butterflies in his stomach, and he's just really happy and in full of energy, and he's bubbly, and he's just happy that this girl Nancy that he's profoundly almost in love with. And mesmerized, that she accepted to get a ride from him. So they proceed down the street. They pass the cemetery, drive past the cemetery. Nancy's home is about a mile away past the cemetery. And, once they get there, Kevin parks, pulls over, and Nancy gets out of the car and walks up the steps into her house. Kevin is very happy, and he just can't put two and two together of how he's just met this girl out of nowhere. And the funny thing is that he met her at just this random bus stop. Oh, he's been so lucky that he's seen her already, or been, she's been there for 3 days already. And for him, it's like it's really random. He doesn't know what to think of it, but a lot of emotions, and he's happy, and everything is running through his mind. He's honestly in deep love for he's head over heels basically for Nancy. So Kevin goes home. He doesn't need much for dinner this time. He just goes home, a shot of wine, a shot of tequila, and he lays on his bed and goes to sleep, crashes out. The next day he wakes up, showers, makes his breakfast, and he's ready to go to school. He gets out of school early again this time, and it's on a Friday. He goes around going towards his house. There's a shortcut before that. There's a loop. So Kevin decides to go the other way again, and which is a long way. Kevin doesn't see Nancy this time. He gets near the bus stop, the bus station, and Nancy isn't there. And Kevin is just a little let down. He doesn't know what to feel. He's kind of just frozen and almost in shock because he's just surprised that Nancy isn't there. And he really likes this girl. He really wants to get to know this girl more. And he really thought that she would be there, but she's not there. And so Kevin is still happy because he at least knows where Nancy lives. He gave her a ride the night before. And so he decides to turn back and go towards Nancy's house. He drives off, passes the cemetery, and leads up towards her house. He stops on the corner of the house. There's a parking area right there, and he pulls over, parks his car, locks it, walks towards Nancy's house, walks up the steps, knocks on the door very politely and kind. He's a very respectful guy, and Kevin is very just a very polite person. So he knocks, and nobody answers the door. He waits about 2-3 minutes, and still no one comes. So this time he knocks again, knocks on the door a little bit louder this time, and he waits a little bit. He waits another 5 minutes, and still nobody comes. And finally, somebody comes towards the door, opens it, and it's a lady, maybe in her mid 60s, late 50s, and he tells Kevin, yeah, how can I help you, young man? He's excited that this is the chance to meet, which could be Nancy's mom, or this is Nancy's home. It's a big thing for me. Kevin tells her, so I'm friends with your daughter Nancy. I met her the other day, and I gave her a ride home last night. I'm just wondering, if she's home, if I can talk to her for a minute or two, just hang out right here outside of your porch. I'm a really nice guy. I just really want to get to know your daughter. And this woman, Nancy's mom, which is Nancy's mom, her name is Tracy. And Tracy tells Kevin, give me a minute. Nancy's mom goes back inside the house, and Kevin is outside waiting. He waits up around maybe 5 to 10 minutes outside. Tracy walks back out the door, and he shows Kevin a Polaroid picture and tells Kevin, is this the Nancy you're looking for? Is this her? Is this Nancy? Kevin says, yeah, that's your daughter, right? I gave her a ride last night. Yeah, that's her. What do you mean? And so Tracy, Nancy's mom, kind of just looks down and then stares at Kevin with a very deep stare. She tells him, yes, this is my daughter Nancy. I'm sorry, son. I don't know how you gave her a ride last night. I don't know how recent or how long you know her from, because my daughter Nancy has been dead for 10 years now. She passed away in a fatal car accident 10 years ago. She actually passed away by the bus stop over there. And Kevin immediately feels chills running down his spine and his neck and his arms, and he freezes, and he's just in a blank stares at Nancy's mom, Tracy, and he doesn't know what to think. He's speechless, he's shocked, and he's honestly terrified and shivered and quivered, and he almost urinates himself. He's just in fear, and he panics and gasps. He starts to breathe heavy, and Tracy tells him, calm down, son. It's gonna be okay. My daughter would be happy and proud of you. You're a very nice person. You have a very good heart, a good soul. I really appreciate you giving my daughter a ride here to my house. I've been praying, going to church, and I keep dreaming about her every night. I feel like you brought her back to my house. I feel like maybe she was lost out there. She died at the bus station, at the bus stop, and I don't feel like she came back home. I feel like for her to rest in peace, she had to come back home some way or another. And I really appreciate you, Kevin. And Kevin is just in tears. He basically gets down on his knees and he just starts crying. And Tracy calms him down, brings him some water, and Kevin appreciates Tracy. He gives her a hug and goes home. After this, incident, Kevin stopped trying to ask people for rides, give people rides. He stopped. He was honestly very terrified, but he was happy that he got to meet this beautiful soul, Nancy. That's it for this story, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, comment, share my video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.